Today's question is from the UK, from Michelle. She is in London. How can I segment my customers and prospects in Salesforce so that my sales and marketing teams focus on the right account? Well, Michelle, a really interesting question, and my answer comes in several parts. First, let's talk about differentiating between customers and prospects. And then secondly, how to segment accounts in terms of importance or priority or target segment. So customers and prospects first. Well, one straightforward way is to use a field on the account, and you use that field to identify whether the customer is indeed a customer or a prospect. But one problem I often see with that is that many accounts flagged as prospects do indeed have won opportunities against them. And that happens when a deal is won and no one remembers to update the account record. So a simple way round that is to use a workflow rule. When an opportunity is won, it automatically updates the field on the account. And by the way, using a field on the account means you don't need a field on the opportunity that salespeople have to fill in every time, specifying whether this deal is for a new prospect or an existing customer. But what about segmenting customers and prospects in terms of their priority or their target segment? I recommend you do this using two fields on the account. One that records the current segment and another that records the target segment. That way you can define the plan for getting a customer from the current segment to the target segment. But what about the segments themselves? How should you define those? Well, you create a pick list with values relevant to your business. Personally, I'm a big fan of the relationship management author, Andrew Sobel, and I've adapted my Salesforce values from his recommendations. So here we are. Strategic customer. These are the small number of critical customers with whom you have a deep and a close relationship at many levels in the two organizations, and you can't afford to lose these customers. A steady engager. These customers buy from you regularly. They don't look anywhere else. They likely make up a significant proportion of your revenue, and it's important you manage the relationship with them proactively. An expert for hire. These customers know how to contact you when they need something. Sometimes they shop around and might buy from one of your competitors, but on the other hand, you don't expend too much time and energy managing those relationships. Dormant. This is a former customer that no longer buys from you. Delinquent. This is a former customer. I guess it could be a prospect with whom you have a negative relationship. And no relationship is what it says. You don't have any connection as yet with this company. Of course, the segments you choose may well be different, but let's think about how that looks in Salesforce. Here's the field that defines our current relationship, and another that defines the target relationship. Of course, many customers will already be where you want them to be. They're in the expert for hire category and you're comfortable with that. However, it also means that you can use other fields to define how you plan to transition customers and prospects from the current to the target segment. You can spell out how you plan to move an expert for hire to a steady engager. For example, I will talk about account development plans, account management plans in a future video. That's clearly very relevant to this topic. So Michelle, here's my summary. Differentiate between customers and prospects on the account. Use a workflow rule when opportunities are won to update that field. And segment customers and prospects by current and target segment. Now, over to you, everyone else. I really would like to know about your advice for segmenting customers and prospects and accounts in Salesforce. If you have a comment, leave it below. Likewise, if you have a question that you'd like me to address on one of these videos, leave that in the comments section as well. And of course, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel right now. See you on tomorrow's video.